The gentleman you are seeing on your screen is Moses Kuria, and is a very senior economic advisor to President William Ruto. So what about him? He is set to receive disciplinary action from the president. And I say this because he has exposed the president and left the commander-in-chief naked. And how do I know that he will receive punishment? We saw the other day Governor Gladys Wanga of Homa Bay raising her voice against the ongoing abductions and extrajudicial killings by police. In fact, he made a statement and posted it on her social media account, criticizing the government of President William Ruto for focusing on the torturing, killings and abductions of young Kenyans, particularly those from Homa Bay. And the next thing that we saw was President William Ruto firing her husband from being the board chair of Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority. And this alone taught us that the president is extremely petty and he does not forgive even a slip of the tongue. The last time I checked, Ruto punished Moses Kuria by removing him as the CS of Trade and getting him as a senior economic advisor. And what this meant was that as an economic advisor, you do not have the chance to play politics. Your role is simply to stay behind the president and advise the president. You cannot play politics and you've got to dump your political ambitions. Now in this video, I want us to look into the 5 grave ways in which Moses Kuria exposed the president and left him naked, which are also going to result into him getting a very severe disciplinary action from the commander-in-chief. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Moses Kuria has revealed that in 2027 there will be no elections. Reason being, President William Ruto is so unpopular that he will have to step down even before 2027, to the extent that the warring factions, the opposition factions, will have to come together and reach a consensus and choose a suitable candidate who will carry the mantle of the president to the State House.
There's not going to be an election in 2027 for presidential.
Say that again.
Yes, there's not going to be a contest. Let me ask you, 2002, yeah. Was there an election?
There was.
So Bastambo.
Yes.
Kibaki had been pre-agreed. Have you ever seen that margin again?
No.
Ilikuwa ngapi?
71
to 20 something. Yeah. Is that an election? That is almost like we're almost rivaling Museveni with his 98%. So because it was a movement. Yeah. So 2027 will be another moment like 2002. There's not going to be an election in the sense that you are thinking. There's going to be so much consensus in the country. Wazee wataketi chini. They say we have 2 options. Go Rwanda way, destroy the nation Rwanda way, or let's agree. Let there be honor among, I don't say this, but among men and women. Let there be honor among men and women. Because the opportunity rose. The alternative will be too dire to fathom. So people will say now, before we go this direction, there's going to be so much consensus around 2027. And the kind of election people are imagining is going to be there. It's not going to be like 2022.
The only problem I noticed when Moses Kuria was saying this is that he was not courageous enough or bold enough to say the words as they are. The second reason why I think Moses Kuria will receive punishment from the president is that he has decided to reprimand and lecture the president, telling him that he must stop focusing on the second term because he already has the first term. He must do something within that first term. He should not be going around the country talking about how he will defeat, Rigathi Gachagua and the opposition, the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka and all that. He should focus on the work and deliver the agenda to the people.
And again, sometimes I wonder, if this is 1 term, so you make then the best use of that 1 term. Assume it's 1 term, no problem. What's the problem? See, why did we put in our constitution there's going to be an election every 5 years? Yeah? What's the most dreadful thing about 1 term? But the question is, what did we do with that 1 term? Atakaman 1 term. What did we do with it? It's not refundable. We are the one who killed that 1 term.
And from where I sit, I can't imagine such words being spoken by a senior economic advisor to the president. It will only call for reprimand and a disciplinary action from his boss, the commander-in-chief. Now, number 3, as if all these are not enough, Moses Kuria has declared to the nation that given an opportunity, he will join Kenyans in the June 2025 protests against the killing of Albert Ojwang, and also as an anniversary to remember the slain soldiers and protesters that were killed last year in the first mega protest.
But if I get the people who are planning the memorial demos, I will join them as long as it's painful. It's peaceful. There's nothing wrong with the demonstrations. There's nothing wrong. I'll even join them.
Imagine an economic advisor sitting with the president, having lunch and dinner with the president, and probably having very mature conversations with the head of state, saying that if he is given an opportunity, he will join the protests. I think there's much more to this. Number 4, Moses Kuria has apparently exposed the extrajudicial killings and corruption that is rampant in the administration of his boss, saying that he doesn't agree with it.
And there's still dozens of unclaimed bodies out there.
Absolutely.
People who died and their loved ones are still waiting for them.
Yeah, this is what I'm calling the road threshold of death. That is normal. Even people become statistics. Yeah. It's not human lives,
We've normalized it.
We have normalized the whole thing. And that for me I've never seen this in all my not very few years on this earth.
Are you disappointed with the way this administration has been doing things?
Well, some things, yes, I'm disappointed on some things. I'm disappointed on especially on these matters of the human rights and security, And I've been maybe the only person within the administration who has been very consistent. I condemned the abductions. I have condemned, the extrajudicial killings, the Ojuangs, the other one. I have called them out even when there was corruption.
And I think this is contrary to what President William Ruto expects of people in his inner circle. He expects people who are close to him to massage his ego, to refrain from saying the truth. You see, the way people like Farouk Kibet and Kipchumba Murkomen are speaking in public, they are ever silent on the atrocities this government is committing. Reason being, they are closer to the president. For Moses Kuria to come out and agree that extrajudicial killings have been rampant in the government of President William Ruto, it raises eyebrows. And for this, I think that there is a punishment that is loading for Moses Kuria. Finally, number 5, Moses Kuria insists that he might run for president come 2027. And this confirms the point that we had talked about, Moses Kuria saying that President William Ruto has become so unpopular that even before 2027, he might have to step down so that the opposition factions can table a suitable candidate who can be supported by all Kenyans.
Just to be clear, Moses Kuria is going to run for president in 2027 if there's an election?
Well, that's a possibility, yes. That's a possibility. The only seat I cannot vie for is Women Rep of Kiambu. I don't think I qualify for that one. But from MCA to the president, I have every qualification.
In 2027?
Yes, I have every qualification. Said by that time.
Yeah, and you'll do it?
I'll do it.
And you're ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah.
More than ready.
Have you
what now? Don't I practice every day?
You do. Have you patched things with Jubilee, with Uhuru Kenyatta?
No, not yet. Not yet. We are talking.
You're patching?
Yeah, and it's Uhuru's party. I have a party. I have given them that offer. If they take, fine. If they don't take, I have a party. And life will go on. For the time being, I'm saying I have a job to do. God has given me an opportunity to make a difference. However little difference I can make for the day, to have people receiving health care, to have agriculture making money, making sense to the farmers, to get the many hopeless young people, to get them job, even at Akamani, 10 people every day, I'll be able to push forward. Jeff, do you know our airports every week now, 1,000 people are going. 1,000 per week.
Going overseas?
Yeah, going overseas. And bringing, the last 2 years, 1 year, our remittances have grown by $1 whole billion. $1 whole billion. Yeah, from $4 to $5 billion. And I'm hoping if I do what I'm doing now, by 2027, that will hit, a whole, trillion plus. Kenya's coming from outside. Yeah? So I may not be elected because of that. But I have a very high chance of going to heaven.
And you're ready for it?
Yes, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Because it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to make a difference for your own personal satisfaction, first of all. Not because of a job. I can do very well in private sector. I'm a banker. I was international. I can work for international bodies. If it's just about jobs and money, I can do business. I can do whatever. But for me, I relish the opportunity to be able to make a difference, even if it's for the day. I think it's something.
Why would Moses Kuria want to be president? Why of this place? Why?
Because there has to be a president. It's like there has to be a president. William Ruto will have his term. If God is on his side and the people of Kenya agree, he gets another term.
Will you support him?
Yeah.
Will you support him?
We will see when we come to 2027. Because, supporting him or not supporting him, for me, is adding, for me saying I'm supporting or not supporting for 2027, I'm adding to the same fire. because I am of that school of mind of we still have unfinished business.
But I think his intention is to contest with President Ruto come 2027. And by this, I think he will get some form of punishment. We may not see this punishment in public, but he has to be punished, because I do not expect an economic advisor to the president to talk about the possibility of him running for office while still being an advisor to the president. What do you think? Can we classify Moses Kuria's sentiments or statements as reckless and as statements that will warrant punishment from the highest office in the hill? What do you think? Do let me know what you think in the comment section below. Personally, I think Moses Kuria's statements on Citizen TV yesterday will not go unreprimanded. Do let me know what you think in the comment section below. At the end of the day, these are just but my opinions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more informative insights such as this. And if you're here for the first time, please check out my YouTube channel, and I guarantee you will be treated to a ton of recent content of this nature: politics, policy, and governance issues in our country. All right, this is all that I had for you in this video. Let us meet up in my next upload.